Throughout her young career, Caitlin Clark had many unforgettable matchups and magical moments that left us on the edge of our seats.
Martin looking. Here's Clark. She fires and goes!
But see, there are a couple of games that stand out among the rest, which have elevated Caitlin to legendary status and God-tier level. I mean, one example of this fell on the night of September 15th, 2024, when the Dallas Wings visited the Indiana Fever right before the playoffs. Coming off back-to-back losses against the Las Vegas Aces, the girls from Big D thought things were just gonna be easy. However, they must have forgotten that the lady wearing 22 is in the building, and right from the jump, CC cooked and served some Caitlin special by popping a usual.
Indiana will reset. Clark fire away. You bet!
Then, this girl right here tried to catch Caitlin across multiple screens, but with just one ball fake, Caitlin made her pay like an estranged daddy missing out on child support. And moments later, CC went full Showtime mode, whipping a slick bounce dime to Kelsey, who then reversed the rock softly. Anyway, in the second half, Caitlin continues the Lord's work by splashing a midi and then dishing it out to AB. Then after that, she stepped on the gas and attacked the rack with no slack.
Shaking Howard, Clark gets to the rim.
And finally, to send them girls packing back to Texas, Caitlin gave them a pair of tough, long-range buckets that were crispy hot, like deeply fried chicken nuggets.
Into a ball screen.
Clark, yes!
When the game was over, Caitlin set the WNBA single-season rookie scoring record by dropping a career-high 35 points in 36 minutes of play, along with 8 assists and 3 steals on 45% shooting from the field, while also knocking down 6 triples without missing any freebies from the stripe. I mean, believe it or not, that was just a taste of what happens when CC is in the zone. And if you ain't got enough of that, here are the greatest games of Caitlin Clark that shocked the basketball world. Anyway, at number 4, let's turn back the hands of time a bit and relive the night of March 26, 2023, when Caitlin and the Hawkeyes battled it out against Haley Van Lith and the Louisville Cardinals for a Final Four spot in the NCAA tournament. With so much at stake in this game, CC brought her A game early. First, she knocked off Van Lith's pass and turned it into 2 points on the other end. Then she lasers a pass to the sneaking McKenna Warnock underneath before putting on her dancing shoes, courtesy of this double step back to end the first with a bang.
Clark, step back 3, is good!
Now in the second frame, CC dials down the scoring a bit by setting up her teammates with some easy buckets. But just like the opening quarter, Caitlin closed things out with another 3-ball to set the tone at the half.
Clark will fire and hit!
Anyway, in the third quarter, CC rode on her hot momentum in the first half by kicking things off with this no-look dime in the break. Then she stroked one in from the corner, coming off an inbounds play before scoring in transition after a turnover. With Louisville down big in fourth, CC just toyed with them by launching this near-logo 3 as if it was just practice. And finally, to tuck them baddies in bed, Caitlin finds Marshall on the break for an easy finish. When the final buzzer sounded, Caitlin had put on an absolute masterclass. 41 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds, along with 8 3-pointers on 11 of 19 shooting from the field, marking this as the first ever 40-point triple-double in March Madness history. And on top of this, CC has helped the Hawkeyes to advance into the Final Four once again since 1993. Anyway, for CC's third greatest game, let's talk about what went down on the historic night of July 6, when the number 1 seed New York Liberty visited the Indiana Fever. Coming into the game, the matchmakers didn't give Indiana a chance, as the Liberty were 10.5-point favorites to win this matchup. Despite the heavy disadvantage though, the Fever had a wild card on their hands named Caitlin Clark. And right from the get-go, she had no plans of folding just yet, as she splashed down this tough 3 to fire things off hot.
And she'll take the first 3-point.
Then she took it in the heart of the defense and finished it off on the wrong foot, before sending Leonie Fiebig reeling back to Germany with this nasty snatchback 3.
Pulls it back.
Now in the next quarter, CC showcased her entire bag. First, she locates Erica Wheeler on the cut. Then she cooked Phoebich once again with a Dirk-esque fadeaway. And to close out the half-strong, CC locates her bigs with back-to-back fancy dimes as they go all the way to the rack. Anyway, in the third, CC continued to stamp her fingerprints all over the floor, cleaning the glass, and then dishing it out with class on the other end.
Caitlin Clark to Smith.
And when the fourth quarter arrived, Caitlin just destroyed the ladies from the Big Apple by relentlessly attacking the paint and putting them in the weight room.
But has picked up a triple-double here today and gets the end one.
After 48 minutes of play, Caitlin racked up 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 13 assists while defeating the top-seeded Liberty, making her the first ever rookie in WNBA and Fever history to put up a triple-double. And coincidentally, the lady wearing 22 notched this incredible milestone in just the 22nd game of her WNBA career. Now, from talking about her historic performance versus NYC, let's shift back to the college scene and relive the night of March 31st, 2023, when Caitlin and her crew faced off against the South Carolina Gamecocks. I mean, this particular game definitely had a big fight feel to it, because the winner of this blockbuster matchup will advance to the national championship. And to add more pressure, the Hawkeyes will be facing a strong and streaking Gamecock squad who haven't lost a game in the last 4 months. But see, despite being the heavy underdog, CC was never fazed by the situation they're in. And in fact, Caitlin lives for these kinds of moments as she always steps up when the light shines the brightest. CC hits the ground running by aggressively attacking in the lane to get her first bucket of the game. Then she feeds Wardock with Pat Mahomes' touchdown pass, who's cherry picking on the other end.
7% of Caitlin Clark's assists come in.
Moments later, CC turns on her afterburners, punishing the Gamecocks with a couple of strong drives inside the lane before whipping a gorgeous wraparound pass to the rim rolling Monica Zinano.
Clark, great look. Sonano lays it in.
Anyway, in the second quarter, CC takes her defender to school here with a little bit of one-legged midi, and then she officially welcomes them to her splash party by hitting 2 booming triples right before the half.
But the one player who seems at times to be tireless is that young woman, Caitlin Clark.
Now, after torching them from distance, CC switched things up in the third and got back into scoring buckets in the paint. And when they tried planting a giant lady in front of her, CC just worked her way around her by using some fancy footwork and handles.
Now you see her, now you don't.
Anyway, with the game getting tighter in the last 12 minutes, Caitlin knew that this was her time. And so, as the old folks would say, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. That's exactly what Caitlin did as she carried the Hawkeyes on her back in the fourth by hitting big shot after big shot. And when the game was on the line, CC delivered once again to finally ice this one for good.
A deep one. You bet!
Caitlin scored 13 points in the final 10 minutes of the ball game to end up with a crazy stat line of 41 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists on 48% shooting from the field, as well as snapped the Gamecocks' 42-game winning streak in the process. Well, as impressive as that performance was, we have to save the best for last. And at number 1, there's no bigger game in Caitlin's career than the night of February 15th, 2024 against Michigan. Coming into the game with 8 points away from breaking Kelsey Plum's all-time scoring record, every basketball fan in the world was watching this game. And with 7:47 left in the first quarter, Caitlin shot a logo 3 to cement her name in the history book.
Comes Clark. How will she go for history?
With that three-pointer, Caitlin has become the greatest scorer of all time in the history of women's college basketball. Now, if you think CC is done doing damage, well, the party is just beginning, cause after that, she sinks a pair of logo bombs to add more points to her newly established record. Around that point, CC was already unconscious as she was just hitting anything she threw up from basically anywhere on the court, regardless of whether it was an inside attack or deep range mid-range hit. And on top of that, she was dishing the leather like a hot potato while hitting her designated targets on time and right on the money. When it's all said and done, Caitlin piled up a career-high 49 points while also adding 13 assists and 5 rebounds on 16 of 31 shooting from 2 and 9 of 18 shooting from deep to wrap up this historic night. And that, my friends, are Caitlin's greatest games thus far. And I'm pretty sure that we'll be seeing a lot more great performances from CC very soon.